Bonjour, 327 subscribers. You're watching my favorite YouTube channel. I'm Chillmonger. This is Atlantis Attacks. Namor's on the cover of the variant because Namor's used in this book. So the story goes, Avengers, talking about pollution and everything. They swung it over to invaders, and now Namor's making a little moment in House of X and Powers of 10. And now Namor's making a splash in Atlantis Attacks. This is going to be the new event or limited series, whatever's the difference. I think an event gets advertised more, a limited series doesn't, but let's call it an event. It's an event for Greg Pak's portion of the Marvel Universe where he's using her and him. There's the New Agents of Atlas, War of Realms, and then there's the regular book called Agents of Atlas. And then you could even go back to Jimmy Woo's first team, the Agents of Atlas. We're going to get shouted out here. So that's kind of cool for the old people who have been reading Agents of Atlas and know who they are. They get to come back and maybe be interested in something. Maybe the old Agents of Atlas should be on the cover of issue number 2 to attract that fan base. Because right now, it's not looking too pretty for her and for him. Every time I check Comicron, they are the lowest selling comic books. They're, as I say, not essential. But this makes it feel pretty essential. You have to have read Swordmaster 5 to understand what's going on with the dragons and Ares. And you should have read New Agents of Atlas. He'll say here on the back pages and the letters page that nothing has to have been read before. And I think that is not true because everything happening in that Pan City where we got portals and how does that just happen? How does that just spring into existence? The portal city of Pan is a thing in Asia, which I complained about because the long story short is I like diversity. I can't have every comic be about that white guy in New York. Which one am I talking about even? See, that's the whole point. That's what Marvel is. So the fact marvelous. The fact that we are distancing ourselves from that and he's creating his own little his bit, looking at that globe and saying, well, there's no heroes representing right here. We got like the Avengers and West Coast Avengers. Like that's stupid. So what they're doing recently is the Avengers are in the North Pole. All right. X-Men are in Krakoa, which is I don't even know where that is. I believe it's on the Pacific Ocean. I don't know, but they're on an ocean. Then we got these dudes based out of Southeast Asia. And who am I forgetting? We got Wakanda. That's an African country. What's holding it down for Europe right now? Whatever it is, it's enough. I like that they're diversifying. It's not just PR stuff. It is just PR stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's PR stuff and it's also good. Like Captain Marvel's new director. I might just make a separate video on that. But I'll say it now here. I think what they said was, what was announced was, Marvel is looking for a female director. Who's going to know how to do a female better than a female? Yes, it's possible a man can direct a proper film of a female, but like Wonder Woman was directed by a female and it was good. It's not like you're not restricting yourself too much by saying I need a female to direct this film. If you said I need a female who's been to space, then you're just like, okay, how many people really fit in that? But when you're saying you're either a man or a woman, half the population of the Earth is a female, and maybe in Hollywood there's 30% of them are female directors and 70%. You're not restricting yourself too much to ask for a female. You want this to be directed to females. You want the perspective of a female on this movie. It's not wrong to say that at all for a female. The same way they went for Thor. They got like a Hamlet director to do this old English. His name's Kenneth Kenneth. They got him to direct Thor. It makes sense to me. Man, I feel like cutting that out and putting in a different review. But talking about this dragon that what's his name's gonna ask? Namor's gonna ask Amadeus, release the dragon, and Amadeus says, nah. Much like Ironheart said in issue number 12 of her final comic book, which didn't need to end. But Eve Ewing, the mentee, gets her words copied by the mentor, Greg Pak, in his Amadeus show. And then Namor tries to Wakanda the freaking city of Pan. They're gonna fight And Amadeus comes with that uppercut. I even knew what page it was on. Look at that. Beautiful artwork. If I don't mention the artwork in a comic book review, it means it was good. If I do mention the artwork in a comic book, then that means it was really good. So he knocked it out of the park. Not Namor, the artist knocked it out of the park. You know, the name of the artist is... It'll say so. It'll say so. It'll say so. Why don't they put the credits on the first page? The name of the artist is... It's not on the last page either. Well, name of the artist escapes me. It's not on the variant cover either. But I like what you did. You drew a nice comic book. So, we got dragons and fire and everything in City of Pan and respecting lore of the arrow and the Swordmaster and a whole lot of good things happening in this comic book. Do I care? Kind of. I appreciate it. But looking at sales and how low they are on Comic-Con, knowing that the rest of the North American community isn't behind it, makes me go, why invest in characters who won't go anywhere? Much like my Children of Adam excuse. People are not behind it. These stories will be forgotten. I'm sure what's happening with Namor will continue if something significant happens to Namor, because he's not in anyone else's book. I'm sure that will matter. Atlantis Attacks. Atlantis will probably win. And the next book will reference this story in their issue number 1, and I'll get the gist of it. And I won't have 4 extra books on my bookshelf, which I just nodded to off screen. That's why I did that. I won't have $20. 4 times 4 equals 16. $16 US worth of comic books on my shelf, and that could have been a pizza. I'm a fat ass for saying pizza. But like, I don't want to waste money on this, spend money on this. Would it be a waste if I loved it? Yeah. If Amadeus Cho was my favorite character, yeah. If these guys were my favorite characters, yeah. But I can't justify continuing to read this comic book. So it gets cut. It gets voted off the island. That's the theme of this week because of what Hickman said about don't gotta pick up every book, buy what you like. That's where I stand. Any fans who are disappointed, thumbs me down. If you really want me to read it, like if you really, really want me to read it, write a comment saying that. And if 3 of you say so, I will. I say 3 because I barely get comments on videos. I barely get 3 comments on videos. So if 3 of you actually said Chillmonger, I do want to see you review issue 2. That's what I'm here for. But other than that, I guess I'm not reading this comic book anymore. Peace out.